Hello survivors and welcome to another video. In this video we're going to be looking at the two new events that have popped up, which is the Walk Ahead and the Heartbreak events. And Walk Ahead tokens seem to be 100% exclusive, only purchasable in the store, so it is definitely a pay to play event. And it basically looks like the promo wheel 2.0. We'll get into that second. We'll look at the Heartbreak token wheel first. And this has some free to play elements. You should be able to get 1 or 2 pulls at least within free to play, but up to 4 I think. And basically it's a Valentine's wheel, and you see couples going along, and you could potentially get a crate with that couple in it. So obviously Carl and Lydia in this one. There are 3 or 4 good crates. The first one obviously having a double revive, this one having a disarm, the next one having another revive, the only generation 2 6-star in the wheel, which is Eric. And then I think there is Lacerator Rick in here as well, but I don't think he's next. I think it's Glenn. There we go. I've seen this wheel go around quite a few times, unfortunately. Glenn and Maggie. So there are some common matchups, but I'd say even Glenn and Maggie are better than some, because there is a Eugene and a Red Rosita, which is not great. There are some login rewards, obviously, with Laurie, and I think there's Rise to Power Rick as well. There is indeed. So there are some very common characters, and a lot of these, even if you get lucky, are going to be duplicates. And as you can see, the chances of you getting even lucky are very, very small. You know, 3% of a 5-star ascendable is really, really low. And to get that crate, it's going to be like 0.1% in that 3%. So it's going to be even lower to get like really lucky. And then even if you get that, you could potentially get one of the just horrendous combos, unfortunately. The 5-star obviously is the guarantee. You are going to be able to get 97% chance of that. So at least you're guaranteed a 5-star, I guess. There's no 4-stars in here. But compared to the 5-star token wheel, the 5-star token wheel has a 7% chance at a 5-star ascendable and a 93% chance at a 5-star. And I think the 5-star token wheel is actually pretty bad odds. So this one is really bad. And the maximum amount of pulls you can get, at least through the museum, is 5. So we're going to check out the museum just to see what you have to do. And you have to get 2 Cupid's bows, and you get 1 per day from logging in. By my calculations, we should be able to get 8 throughout the event, because it starts on the 14th and ends on the 22nd. The 23rd is like a bonus day to be able to actually hand stuff in. So that should be 8 bows. So that's enough for 4. And then these heart arrows drop from raids. Now this is from 2 raids, so it is sort of the same sort of numbers that were dropping in the Road Warrior event. So not very high, but the big difference is you only need a much smaller amount. You only need 750 heart arrows throughout this event, whereas you needed thousands and thousands of tires throughout the Road Warrior event. So this is much better in terms of the drop rate compared to what you need. The drop rate in the Road Warrior event should have been much higher, and that was a big mistake, but hey. Now looking at the heart necklaces, you get these from milestones in certain tournaments, but I think it's every tournament because it wasn't specific to certain tournaments. It just said within select tournaments, so I guess it's just all of them throughout the period. So we should be getting these in War, we should be getting these in level ups and stuff like that. Again, you need to hit 750 if you wanted to get all the pulls, but you're not likely to get enough bows to do that. Now there was a starter collection basically to get yourself an extra pull, and I basically see that as that's the 5th pull. They sold the 5th pull as a starter collection, and they'll probably sell it again at the end. And it was, I think, £6, or I don't know, probably $6 as well, $7. I don't think it's great value for a guaranteed 5-star personally, but some of you might see it that way. If you're new to the game, it could be actually pretty decent, but as a veteran, it's probably not very good, especially with the low percentage chance of getting an ascendable character. So I would avoid that unless you were really desperate for 5 stars, I guess. So that's this event. It isn't too bad. It has got accessibility to free to play. It is nice to have seasonal events that have got accessibility to free to play. It's very important that all season events have free-to-play accessibility, and it does look, like I said, 80% roughly. If you grind it out, you're going to have accessibility to 80% of this. Now on to the second part. It's the promo wheel 2.0. We'll look at the normal promo wheel, and the odds on that wheel is 1%, 1%, 5%, 93%. The only ones you really got to remember are the 5-star ascendable being 1% and the 4-star being 93%, because when we go on to the 2.0 wheel, you can see those changes go from 5-star ascendable up to 2% from 1%, and 4-star goes down to 92% from 93%. Not much of a change, to be honest. Not much of a change at all. And basically, this is promo wheel 2.0 because you can see there's 3 new characters on it, which is Alpha, Elodie, and Beta. And you can only get these characters from this wheel And you can only pull from this wheel if you buy the tokens in the shop. Now, the difference between this and coins, obviously, is that coins are accessible in many parts of the game. Completing world stages, leveling up, leagues positioning, tap joy offers, scavenge missions. You can accumulate coins through the game just by playing the game and being like grinding hard. And then you could potentially, there's a lot of RNG like in all of this, but you could potentially then get lucky by doing a 10 pull, or a 1 pull, a 10 pull, or a 40 pull on the promo wheel and get like the newest character and just be like hyped, obviously. Now you can't even do that. If this is going to be the way that the promo wheel is going forward, you can't even pull for the better characters on this wheel. And unless they come back for a second turn round with coins, you're never going to be able to get these characters if they're basically only promoted this way. So that's a big letdown, obviously. I think that change is really bad. It's just dividing people who pay money and don't pay money even further, because obviously people who pay money are going to put tons and tons of money into the game to get certain characters on the wheel, and they're going to basically guarantee themselves the characters after a certain amount of pulls, just 400 pulls. There are people who do this. There are some people who never pay and maybe do a 40 pull every 3 months on free to play, but obviously that's become too powerful if we have to implement something like this, and I can't really understand why this is being implemented. Obviously it's money. It's obviously that's the main reason, is to make money. The odds of getting a character are pretty much the same over the 25 pulls compared to over the 40 pulls. It's like, I don't know, I think it's like 50% chance, 55% chance of getting a 5-star ascendable or a 6-star over all the pulls. But the difference is, with a 25 pull on this, you're not guaranteed a character like a 5-star. You could get 25 4-stars, whereas in the 40 pulls on a promo wheel, you are at least guaranteed a 5-star. Even if it's just a 5-star, at least you're guaranteed that. The pricing is 100 Walker tokens, which is a 1 pull, for £4.16, which is like $5, like $5.50 or something like that. I'm not sure what it's going to be. It could be $4 for Americans to buy this. But the conversion is never great in these stores. And if you compare it to coins, like the top offer, 2,500 Walkerhead tokens, is £83.58. And the top offer for coins is £83.58 for me. So it's exactly the same sort of price system. And you can do a 40 pull with 8,250 coins. And you can do a 25 pull. And it's just, like I said, it's just Promo Wheel 2.0. And I don't know. It's just separating again. It's making another section of the game become pay to participate. You know, there's a lot of pay to participate at the moment. And you're making a lot of things become less accessible to free to play. And when there's not much for free to play to access, and as I said in one of my previous videos, what are free to play going to play for? And the amount of free to play players will just decline. And then the amount of, you know, in terms of percentage, in pay to play players will obviously have a larger percentage in the game. And that will make the free to play players decline even more, because they'll have less people they can actually really play against properly. And then in the end, it would maybe even just become pay-to-play people. And then they will start leaving because there's no one they can really dominate with their good characters. They're coming up against someone else who's just bought a massive roster. And most of the time, a lot of people buy their roster to have an advantage. But if someone else has bought the same roster, there's no advantage. You're paying just to, like, stay on par. And no one's really going to do that long term. So I don't know about these changes. It is very questionable. I mean, at least the Heartbreak event is fairly accessible, but I mean, 97% chance at a 5-star and 3% ascendable. Hopefully some of you guys get lucky. I'm not really sure about this Promo World 2.0, to be honest. I don't think it's a good idea. I would say if you're someone who wants to drop money consistently, this is a bad way forward for the game. But you may want to drop money, you may like the characters, but they're going to gauge how successful this is based on the money that people spend on it. So it's up to you guys whether you want this to be a success or not. If you want to buy these, that's fine. If you want to just wait and just say, you know, actually I prefer the coin way, the odds are pretty much the same. It's just about the accessibility for the player base. It's not a good way, in my opinion. But that's the end of my video, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. And as always, keep on surviving, guys. Keep on surviving.